What it is a cottage loaf or a sourdough that you put everything in that you like for a picnic or eat out. Now, I don't know about you lot, but when my kids were young, well, I don't eat beans, I don't eat ham, I don't want cheese. So what we did was we worked out what everybody liked, put a layer each for them, and made a sandwich. And then I thought, well, if I baked it, surely then it'd make it even tastier.
Like a pie sandwich.
A pie. So, well, I'll show you how to do it in a second. And then you've got to press it overnight, but it is absolutely delicious and it makes everybody happy.
The only thing is, Dino, I don't know if you've got a picture of that again, if you can just run that again. The only thing is, when I'm looking at this, Phil, and it's beautiful when you see it horizontally, but when you see it vertically like that, you have to have a big mouth with big teeth.
No, it's how you cut it.
I'll be all right.
Oh, is it?
Ruth, I ignore that one. I ignore
that.
that. Eamon, you cut it, don't you? But it just makes, well, Ruth obviously does all the cooking at home. It makes hers life a little bit easier. That's the whole point of it. Okay.
I like the idea of it.
Now, here I've got a sourdough loaf, which we've made. And what I've done is I've cut...
Does it have to be sourdough?
No.
I don't like sourdough.
It's the shape, really.
Right, okay.
So we normally use a cottage loaf, but they're quite, not too hard to, quite hard to find these days. But what I've done, you see, cut it into 5 pieces, so that gives you four layers.
Come out to have a look, Phil. They love your recipe.
Did they? Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's a policeman.
Please.
Now, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of olive oil to each layer as we go along, or you can use mayonnaise, or you can use butter. It's up to you, but I quite like olive oil.
Sourdough's very good for you, isn't it? It doesn't bloat you as much, doesn't it?
Well, it's interesting. The thing about making bread is I was always taught that the longer you leave it to prove, i.e. sourdough, which is a natural leaven, the better it is for you, or the better you can digest it, apparently. I don't know if I could completely agree with that, but that was the whole point of it. And they always say the longer the bread takes to rise, the better it is for you.
So it's less yeasty, isn't it?
Yes, because the yeast is, when you make a sourdough, the yeast is in the air.
Yeah.
So you just take it, it takes sometimes 3 days. Anyway, we digress. So in this one here, I'm going to use mozzarella, a bit of pesto, and some courgettes. So the thing is to do, you can layer it with whatever you like.
But this is your vegetarian
This is
one.
my non-meat option.
Non-meat, sorry.
So I've got tomatoes here. Beef tomatoes go in. And I'm running a little bit of pesto. This is a jarred pesto, a red pesto.
So the red pesto.
Yep, over that goes. You don't have to go too mad. And then I've got a few peppers. Again, just sautéed peppers, or you can buy jarred ones, it's up to you. Yeah. And it's interesting, I'm putting all the oil on as well, because you've got quite a lot of juice going on in there, and you're going to add some mozzarella, you need to add things which are going to break down when you cook it slightly, and that gives it a much nicer mouthfeel at the end. Okay, so that's number one. Then bread goes on, and then we add a bit of oil, and this time I'm going to use sautéed courgettes, which I did earlier here.
Well, the ones Eamon's cooked.
Yes, Eamon cooked, and then with garlic, and all you do is just put the courgettes on, like so. Again, spread them out, like that. A little bit more pesto, dot that on. You don't have to be too prescriptive on it, you just put it on. And then mozzarella as well.
So that'd be nice when it's all
Yes! So it brings it all together.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is layering as you go along. I sometimes use cheddar cheese, but it's quite fatty, but mozzarella tends to bind it together nicely. Next layer.
So we've got
press that down.
Deals there if you fancy trying this for the bank holiday. Oh, it's not a bank holiday, is it? Sunny weekend.
Yeah, well, it could be, couldn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it.
It feels like it. Again, tomato, a bit more pesto, and you just basically layer and layer.
So kind of anything you want, really.
Yes, you can.
It's what you leftovers lying around as well.
Yeah, absolutely, whatever you like. But I sometimes put mozzarella and basil and just tomatoes. That's it. Then it goes. Then you put the next layer on, and you keep going up and up and up. Now, once you've layered the whole thing, won't go too far. You need to. This is really important. Place the loaf in the middle of the foil. Press it down. Okay, and then wrap it up in foil really tightly. Okay, and then press it again. Be quite brutal with it.
Okay.
And that goes into an oven, about 200 degrees centigrade, gas 6, for around 35 to 40 minutes.
Oh, quite a long time then.
Because that's quite a lot of heat to get through there.
Yeah, that's true.
And as the mozzarella break down, the tomatoes break down, you get a beautiful, juicy finished result. Now, we're a bit pushed for time, so I'm going to run through this before we go to the recap. This is what I did earlier, and Eamon spied this a bit earlier here.
It's almost like pizza that you've done here.
Exactly. So here I've got bacon and eggs and chorizo sausage. Look at this. Now this is one of my wife's favourites. I have to add.
Yeah, well, I'm liking this.
We were just going. That looks like breakfast to me.
It does.
It's like, that's my
Dot the
perfect
mayonnaise.
breakfast sandwich.
Then we have tomatoes. Again, a little bit more mayonnaise. So this is almost like the glue in the whole thing. Quite. Okay. Then we go next one here. I'll move that there so you can see it. Corned beef. I love corned beef.
I haven't seen corned beef for years.
Oh, gosh. My mum used to have it when we were kids.
My dad loved corned beef.
Corned beef
and
hash.
mustard sandwiches he used to have.
Yep, and then
Beetroot, interesting.
pickled beetroot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no,
okay,
I know,
all right.
Ruth, what you're thinking.
All right.
But when it's cooked, we have a taste in a minute. When
All
it
right.
cooks, it just brings everything else together. It cuts the richness of the corned beef.
So same thing, wrapped up
in the oven. When it comes out the oven, you leave it for about half an hour to cool, then chill it in the fridge.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is how you did it.
Here's a recap. Cut the loaf into 5 slices and lay the bottom slice on a chopping board. Spoon over the oil and season well. Lay the bacon, eggs, chorizo and half the mayonnaise on the bottom slice of bread. Add a slice of bread and lay on the corned beef. Add the tomato and the remaining mayonnaise. Top with a slice of bread. Lay on the beetroots and top with the final crust. Wrap the loaf in foil and squeeze so it's tight around the loaf. Place on a tray and put in the oven for around about half an hour to 40 minutes. Remove from the oven and press nice and tightly again. Cool and chill well. Remove the foil and slice. And there it is. But the secret is you have to chill it once it comes out.
Really?
For you? Ruth, you want to try
So you
that
let
one?
it cool down and then you put it in there.
Yes,
Can I
but
try that one?
I need to cut it a bit
No,
further
that'll
for you.
do me.
Sure? Nah, let me cut it for you. Which bit? That bit?
Yeah, the big one.
Now,
It's like a Desperate Dan sandwich.
there you go. Now, the golden rule is while you're eating that, is to
at
say,
that.
when it comes out, you've got to repress it really quite brutally and then chill it. So you
Oh,
press
repress it,
twice.
so while it's still in the foil,
Yeah,
because all the
collapse
heat,
slightly, yeah.
and
there
then
it is.
chill it,
Now,
and then cut it.
If you can eat all of that, Ruth, in one go,
Ready?
yeah.
Phil, that's so good. So good. Not the
Look,
same.
every layer.
If the supermarkets were wise, they'd copy you on this. Very, very good.